Okay, we're here this morning on RealAgriculture.com with the President and CEO of ALMA, Mr. Gordon Cove. Welcome this morning, Gordon.
Nice to meet you, Sean.
Okay, Gordon, we're going to talk a little bit about ALMA and some of the priorities and some of the objectives and some of the results that you found in the marketplace. We're going to start off by talking about ALMA's priorities. What are ALMA's priorities?
Yeah, we met with our board of directors and we've gone into a strategy session, and we identified 4 key priorities, and those being market access, competitiveness, demand, and information flow. And this is where we're going to focus our efforts in the next little while. So,
in terms of those priorities, market access. At this point, is opening up the American market? You know, obviously there's a WTO challenge going on in regards to cool, or is this more of a global focus in terms of market access?
Well, market access takes many forms, and yes, we have to continue to work with our largest customer, which is the U.S. and the export market. But there's some real barriers over in Asia where we, particularly we lack access in many areas, and it's one of the key projects we have going on right now. Just last week, it was announced that ALMA was going over there and meeting with the Japanese Meat Trade Association to try and attack the market access in Japan in particular in a different way. And Minister Groneval is going to be going over and trying to move that process along, because we realize that Asia is a major market that we have to have better access to, and that ultimately leads to better results for our industry.
So, when you say priority is competitiveness, how do you define competitiveness, or what is that priority?
Well, competitiveness is we have to be able to sell internationally. We have to be able to make a dollar and make it sustainable. So there's a lot of factors from a cost perspective that goes into producing products that we have to be competitive with other people producing beef. And I'm talking pork as well and bison. So it's not just beef, but it's a lot of all the commodities. So we have to be competitive in the world market, but we produce a very high quality product, and we have to make sure that the marketplace is accepting, and we can get top dollar for what we're selling.
So would you say internationally, Canadian beef is still looked upon as that high quality product?
I believe so. I mean, grain-fed beef is some of the finest in the world, and we produce that. But we have limited access into certain marketplaces, and not everybody buys that. So, we have to be very conscious of that and position ourselves to maximize our returns.
So, in terms of ALMA, how does ALMA increase demand?
Well, demand is a long process. I mean, if we have more access into the marketplace, we have more opportunity to sell our products internationally into markets that we've never been able to do. So we get to sell, increase the demand that way by having better access and more customers. Ultimately, that's what we need, is more customers that want our product, and we have to showcase that we produce top quality product and meet the needs of the marketplace. And that is something that we have to do on a continuous basis. It's just not one day we're in there and the next day we're not. No, we have to be continually promoting our products and making sure that the customers know that we're here and we're going to supply.
So in terms of meat demand from a Canadian product perspective, does ALMA is ALMA putting money into research for new cuts of different types of meat, or how are you facilitating that demand?
We look at it from a whole bunch of different ways. Some is to explore different markets that maybe we haven't traditionally been engaged with. Talking directly with some of our partner groups, in Japan would be a perfect example again. Where we're talking to the Japanese Meat Trading Association. What is it you're actually looking for? The Canadians are well recognized as being a good supplier. So how do we maximize that and actually get our products there to meet that need? So we go into a lot of different areas and see exactly what is it the consumer wants, because ultimately it's the consumer that buys our products. And so we gather information, and we can share information, and pass that on through the supply chain.
So, and finally, the last priority was flow of information. Let's talk a bit about that.
Well, the flow of information, we think this is where Canada really needs to get to in the long run. If we continue to operate in isolation from the producer to the packer to the consumer, there's no way to improve the efficiency very, very well. If we can share the information up and down the value chain, then we think we can produce better products more effectively, more efficiently, and increase the productivity that will ultimately lead to better products at a lower cost. And that is really about moving the whole industry through as opposed to just little bits and pieces.
So in terms of information to the consumer, what is kind of that real objective? Like, what is the perfect world, perfect kind of scenario at the grocery level in terms of information that we would provide them with?
Well, it depends on the market. I mean, some of the marketplace is asking for, where are these animals raised? How are they raised? What have they been fed? How old are they? We've heard certainly that in the beef industry. How are they handled? How long has that product been getting to market? Is it healthy? Is it safe? I mean, these are all questions that consumers are asking, and we have to answer them. So it's a very involved process that takes a lot of time and effort.
So one of the things that I've heard lots from producers that come to our site is that ALMA seems like has got some very good priorities, very long-term vision, long-term objectives. I think people are fairly confident that it's going to reach those objectives. Where does ALMA fit in some of the short-term problems that we have in the in the meat sector with pork and beef? We've experienced a lot of financial distress as of late. Where does ALMA fit in terms of closing those short-term gaps?
Yeah, I think there are some short-term problems. And I think it's really important that ALMA is not a support group or a stabilization organization that deals with support payments and that sort of thing. What ALMA does though is try to address some very short-term issues that we can address. A perfect one would be the H1N1 that's happening in the pork industry. Certainly has an impact on the pork industry. We've worked with Alberta Pork to come up with an awareness campaign to try and get the message out there to help get some proper information out. It's certainly one. We've also dealt and handled the CPIP, the price insurance program, where we actually funded some of the development work there and to make it go forward and get out to the industry. Those are short-term projects, and so we have lots of those projects that are on the go right now. We have programming that can support that, but we think they roll into the long-term priorities that we're doing that will give us a long-term solution.